All right. Well, hello and hello and hello and hello. There we are. Welcome to the Crystal Library. It's time for boobs. Sorry I'm late. I'll talk more about all the things and all the stuff that I gotta plug and nobody cares about. But real quick, if you like anatomy, you're in the right place. If you don't like anatomy, though, you're even in the right place more. Because I'm here to hopefully make it enjoyable and a bit of an easier romp to go through because it's real tough. We got 3D models, we got gesture sketches on deck today, we got lots of stuff, but most importantly, we got Proko. And I'm going to let him talk a little bit. But essentially, if you want an easier dive through the anatomy journey, we are basically going all the way through the human body again from jump. I've taken the last 5 years to learn it myself, and I'm going to here hopefully expedite the process a little bit more. But I'm going to sit down and get settled before we do anything, and I'll let Proko take it away. I'll say this much. There is a second lesson to the Proko breast lesson. As a woman, I refuse to watch it. It has aged, I guess, decently well. His wife is featured in it, and I feel so bad for her. But anyway, you watch that on your own. Go get that knowledge. I'm gonna just skip to the good stuff. So here we go. Proko, take it away. Where is my mouse? There it is. All right, I'm gonna mute and let Proko talk to you about boobs. Have fun. I'll be right back.
Last time, we went over the common mistakes of drawing breasts. Air balloon boobs, squished boobs, misconceptions about nipple size, and of course, anti-gravity boobs. If you're a teenage boy, you're probably wondering, Stan, what's wrong with this? This is fine for some genres of art, but if you're drawing realistic women, this won't happen. Okay, let's learn how to draw breasts correctly. Form. Let's remember our bones and muscles for a second. The forms you see near the armpit and clavicles are from the pectoralis major muscle. This muscle appears and acts the same way on a female as it does on a male. Be sure to study the lesson on pecs. Of course, on females, there's an additional mass that sits on the lower part of the pecs. The transition from muscle to fatty tissue is soft and gradual. Notice that the breast mass flows with the pectoralis major into the armpit. Remember that the rib cage is rounded, so the breasts are naturally aimed outward at roughly a 45-degree angle. This means that the nipples are not dead center. Instead, they sit closer to the outside edge of the breasts. From the side view, we can see this upward-facing plane of the chest. After the upward-facing plane is a downwards-facing plane. For small and perky breasts, there's a gradual angle back into the ribcage. For larger breasts, the weight pushes them down and then they swoop back up to the inframammary fold. The breasts will react to movements of the body, so they will look different in different poses. When lying on the back, the breasts roll off the sides of the ribcage. This means they're flatter and more distant from each other. When bending over, the breasts will hang off the chest. The breasts follow the motion of the shoulders. When the arms go up, the breasts go up, and the inframammary fold softens. When one arm goes up, the breast on that side will go up. The same applies for adduction and abduction of the arm.
Very good.
This causes the breasts to compress and stretch. When hanging upside down, the breasts will roll up the chest, in the same way they roll to the sides when the figure is lying on her back. They definitely won't do this. This helium hottie definitely has a serious case of anti-gravity boobage. When lying flat on the stomach, the breasts are squeezed between the chest and the ground plane. Assignment.
Yes, here we go.
The assignment is the same as last week. Just continue doing those if you're not done. Focus on how the position and motion of the body affects the shape of the breasts. And of course, don't forget about the pec muscle under the breast tissue. I've provided some reference photos in the link below. If you're not sure how to do a gesture drawing, refer back to the gesture lesson in the figure drawing course. Post your work in our anatomy group at proko.com/groups. In the Premium Anatomy course, each lesson has extended videos, more drawing examples, and 3D models that you could rotate and draw from any angle.
Yeah. It's really good
I'm very
stuff.
proud of the Premium course.
It's very good.
Proko.com/anatomy.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you there because all these plugs don't exist anymore and he's gonna just make bloopers. You watch that yourself. Okay, anatomy, but first, Animal Crossing. Yay! Okay, alright, that's a really good Proko face to pause on. Alrighty, so, holy crap, hi there. I just needed a moment to get acclimated. I'm usually just sitting down. I was about to start, and then Mother came home, and we had a good conversation, and I felt bad because I was like, I am about to, literally minutes about to start streaming. But it was much needed. So before I talk personal life and junk, I just want to throw this at you. There's a poll for the boobs that has no votes yet. So, essentially, as Proko has mentioned, every single time we get to a lesson, there is like 8 to 10 pictures per pack, and there's like 10 for this one for the women. Because I spent 5 years learning this junk, I don't want to spend another 5 years doing it again. This is my revisit and refresher to hopefully help us learn anatomy, but also get through this stuff as fast as we can so we can get to other things like animals. I want to learn about animal anatomy so bad. 3D programs as well, because all of this stuff is hopefully to help us learn how to build 3-dimensional people and creatures and things like that. So anyway, I'm basically taking the best of the pack, the top 4, because that's the only amount I could give you. I can only give you 4 amounts of pictures. And then you guys can decide from there which ones we revisit, and we'll do the first top 2. But I would strongly recommend going through all of the pictures, of course, and going to Proko's website and getting all of this stuff yourself. So anyway, rambling aside, we're here to draw boobs today. So while you're doing that, hold on. What should I say here? Also, if anyone's in the chat, let me know how music sounds. It might be a hair too loud. I might turn it down just a smidge more. There we go. Which pick shall we doodle? There we go. Vote above. Alright. Sorry about that. Now I'm ready. Okay. Just getting stuff ready to go. There's one more thing I could do, like grab my phone, which just happened to randomly disappear for the moment. I'm so sorry. I might have to go get my phone real quick. So take a minute to vote. I'll be right back, hopefully not long, like 30 seconds. Phone? One moment. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I am back! Phone in hand. Great. Sorry about that. Okay. I just had to make sure I posted a notification. Now I'm here. I'm present. There's so many behind the scenes things, but really quick, I just wanted to also just, if any of you happen to stumble across this channel, it's not much right now, but this is a channel that I hope to continue to grow with. Every single thing I ever learn in this life will live here and be documented. So I'm revisiting human anatomy for now, but I'm basically a digital artist who just can't stop learning things. This sponge just loves to absorb knowledge and share whatever I learn as I go. So if you happen to want to learn anything on this journey with me as a note sharer, you're going to basically learn whatever I learn here. So animal anatomy is coming up next. As I mentioned before, a lot of 3D software probably coming up because I want to be able to do 3D design, not necessarily animation, but 3D character modeling at some point. ZBrush, Maya, Substance Painter, all that stuff. That's what this is all working towards. And then last but not least, there happens to be a Discord and a Patreon that you can exist in if you want to. But only if you like what I do here. I hate saying the word subscribe and I hate saying the word like, but you know, it helps. And if I can be real for a second, real quick before we get started. Oh, your girl was getting lost in the darkness for a second right before this. I was just making a salad because I was thinking, oh, I should eat something before the stream. And I really should just not raid the fridge and eat like carbs and toast or whatever I could find. The end of the month is approaching. Rent day is almost here. It's getting harder and harder every time we get to this day. And it's been real rough over here. But, you know, every little bit helps. So this isn't an SOS. Just if you can, of course, take care of you before you could take care of others. But every little bit is appreciated. If you are able to, there is also a donation that you can submit, !Discord/Patreon/donate would be really, really gratefully appreciated. Because I would love to be able to keep these going, but it gets hard sometimes, you know? So anyway, financial stuff aside, I just want to be as present as possible, and I feel like I can only be possibly present when I'm able to focus on things that isn't life. So to be the best teacher and mentor to you, I want to be as present as possible, and I just hate that the situation we're in right now is just as it is, but, you know, life sucks sometimes. So, anyway, that's not to say you can't bring negative things here. Everything here is welcome. All of the above. We're here to learn anatomy, but we're also here to be humans and just get through this crazy life together somehow. So, power to you if you're trucking along with me. We're on the struggle bus together. So, anyway, there's a whole other bunch of things that I could say, but the gist of it is we're going to draw boobs today and maybe, hopefully, not suck at it. So that's the goal. So, as far as I know, I haven't gotten any votes yet for the poll, so I am going to pick if you guys don't pick for me. So, we had, let's see, out of the 4 candidate pictures that we could choose today, let's see. Oh my gosh, she's so tiny. We have, where is it? Uh-oh, hello? Oh, there we go. Oh my god, crotch, no! Sorry. So out of the 4 pictures we could choose today, we could choose a sitting lady, which gives us some nice twisting action. We could choose the lady that you just saw right here, that I already did. Again, this is our revisit back into the boob territory. We're doing another version just to see where we are and how I stack up after 5 years. 4 years by now. 2021, I think, was the last time we did these. Hi, Mochi. Right? Yes, you're Mochi. Cat incoming. Wait for it. There she is. I didn't even see her get on the bed, but there she is. This bent over lady, which I'm pretty sure this is the same model. Gorgeous model. Which would give us some love of gravity. She has no body fat on her. Stunning. And then this one, which is a completely different model, but I love the pose. So I wanted to basically give you a variety of options of each one is giving us something different. Somebody sitting, somebody hunched over, somebody twisting, and then also sitting, but gravity is doing some more work here. So I'm actually leaning toward this lady. I'm happy with how I did her the first time. In fact, we can go down memory lane and look at all of the versions I did the first time. But again, out of this entire pack, there's like 10 pictures. Do all of them. If you're doing this for the first time with me, do all of them. It's just more practice for me. But if it's learning it for the first time for you, then yeah. But what I like about this one, you can unfortunately show, I'm pretty sure it's fine. Proko already showed nude babe boobs on screen, so I don't think it's a big deal. But just in case, I'm going to just keep it safe for now. You are welcome to also grab these pictures on Proko's website, so if you want to see the non-censored version, you can go get it. And we'll draw it together. But We're going to try staying on a timer today. That's what this 5-minute timer is. There is a link down in the description if you want to try timing yourself while I do this. It is not live. It is an unlisted video because I'm still working on the formula for it and just getting a feel for it, and not to mention my life is just crazy right now. When I have time to upload more of them, I plan to. But right now, it's a 25-minute session to draw full gesture, as in 5-minute rough gesture, 10 minutes for bony landmarks and finding the skeleton underneath the major bony landmarks that we're discussing for the day. For in case this one being breasts, we're going to really need to know where the rib cage is, and the shoulder girdle for pecs underneath, because that's still, tissue's just drooping off of that muscle. It's still there. And then lastly, the final round is cleanup and musculature. If we're looking at a certain muscle, we're going to add that in the last 10 minutes. So 5, 10, 10, 25 minutes. And as we get faster, I might shorten that. We'll see. But it's just bonus if you're able to finish under the timer. So the first round through these lessons, I took as long as I wanted on these gestures. So they probably won't end up as clean or as perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. They won't end up probably as, I guess, well adjusted as these ones were, because this was me taking my time, which I would strongly suggest. If this is your first time learning any of this stuff, take your time. Don't try to keep up and rush like me. This round really is more of a test for me. This is a brusque revisit for me to remember things I forgot, as well as to test my current knowledge of where I stack up. So if you make errors when rushing, it doesn't work. You have to take your time if you're still learning this stuff. Make errors slowly, and then you can go back and assess those errors. It doesn't make any sense if you make errors slow or fast. You just not adjust as you go. So anyway, enough talk. Let's figure this out. I think we'll go with the lady laying down for today, because the gesture we're doing this week is going to be the exact picture. We're going to just do a copy of the picture we're looking at. But as is tradition, for every second gesture I do, I'm testing myself by doing the flip of that picture. So in my brain, I'm going to attempt to flip the gesture around in my brain and do the opposite of what the camera is showing us from imagination. So something like this is going to be really hard to flip around. A lot of these other poses, I think, will have a bit of an easier time. This one's not that much different. It would just be her leg is now facing the camera. This one would probably be more challenging because she's twisting, and then same for this one, she's sitting down. So any of these are going to be a challenge to flip around, but I think this is the most challenging one. So we're going to do that one head on. So anyway, I guess I just wanted to give a brief run through of all of them before we do it. In order, this is my first attempt in 2021 when I was learning this stuff. And, you know, it's fine. They're good. I'm really happy with these. The gestures were really, really strong for this round. Like, I'm really happy with this. And I think that's another thing. I don't really have time to talk about my approach to gesture as I'm drawing, so I wanted to give some context as to how I start sketching in the very beginning. Because there's a lot that goes into learning how to draw a gesture, besides just getting the shape of the body in there. There's not just the gesture line, there's like... So anyway, there's some techniques that I learned in school that was actually very helpful and beneficial that I can pass on. And for gestures, I can talk a bit more about them. So you'll kind of notice some of the landmarks that I work on. Where is it? There's a really obvious example, like this one, for example. Let me get my pen, actually, and let me find said picture. I don't think I have the example on this list, no, but, well, I can't show boobs. Even though boobs already appeared on screen, maybe it's fine. I don't know. YouTube, you tell me, I guess. I've had nudity on camera before, and I don't think it's a big deal, but we'll see, we'll see. So, besides that, I hope everyone's having a swell Sunday. I'm actually going to take a bite of my salad. It was just been sitting here staring at me. I really want to eat it. Proud of that salad. Put the whole kitchen sink in there. Wasn't even trying to. Okay. So, for the sake of this adventure, I'm going to flash the picture of the lady up there. I'm pretty sure it's fine, but just in case, we'll have it small. So, because it's really helpful to know the actual gesture of what we're looking at. Okay, here we go. So this is the gesture we're referencing. Prepare for boobage, prepare for nudity, prepare for vagoo, all of the things. In 3, 2, ah! There she is. Stunning specimen. So something that really helped me in school when I was learning this for the first time, and I guess I can go over my gesture process here. Let me just make sure. One sec. I want to pin this so you can't lose it. It's not going to stay here for the whole time. Control Windows T locks my window. There we go. There's a funky little thing called Power Tools for PC users that's very handy, and that's one of the shortcuts now. I can click on other things in other apps and it won't click it away. I'm a note share. I'm going to share everything, even if it's not related to art. I'm going to share everything. Okay.
3:30 p.m. Let's go grab a glass of water. And why don't you go wash your hands?
No! I just did all of that, Google. Thank you. I really should change that. It's so funny, though. To me. Maybe it's absurdly annoying to anybody who's been here for a while, but every time, make a counter when my Google goes off. Okay. Let's use red. So, some of the biggest landmarks that my teacher mentioned, she's like, okay, belly button and the pit of the neck. And, oh, yes, the base of the rib cage. Those are, let's see. Yeah. So, it starts with, obviously, a line. Get your gesture in. There you go. You can see that long gesture. Not one-to-one, but you want to aim for tracing something along that energy of the line. Second, now let's start to find the midpoint of the gesture. So the gesture line should be your energy, but the midline should be literally the middle of the person. So looking at this, the top of the torso, the midline from the pit of the neck all the way through to the base of the rib cage, the belly button, and then the middle of the pelvis. All of this should be one continuous line, and that'll help me place things accordingly so I can still line up. So there's a lot of rhythm in the torso. There's a lot of, the cross contour should still, you should still be able to find it at the end of the gesture when you get to it. And then, another one, the pizzas, the posterior, I always forget the name of it. Posterior superior iliac crust. I think that's what it is. I forget. It's these points. I just remember pizzas and aces. Anterior superior iliac spine. That's what it is. And then posterior superior iliac spine. So basically the front of your hips, there's some bonage there. If you palpate right underneath your gut, right underneath your tummy area, there might be some bones there, regardless of your girth size. If you're a little thinner or you're a little bit thicker, you're still going to have some bones there. It just might be covered by love handleage or whatever you have. But these 2 points are the most superficial parts of the front of the body that a lot of artists use as landmarks. And my teacher taught me to connect the dots from basically the belly button to the start of the pizzas. So I go for one Triforce triangle, and then another one for the girdle of the pelvis. So you make like a kite to get the bottom area. And then the top area should be, I think, the pit of the neck. Let's get my red back. Right here. The pit of the neck to the pizzas points. That's another gesture. And then lastly, belly button to shoulders. So all of these landmarks, they're kind of angled, and then lastly, like a plane change for your shoulder line. depending on the shoulder. If one shoulder is raised, it might be a bit more of a slope. But so all of these lines look really confusing up front, but it really does kind of help to see everything at a glance, because now you can kind of see where things line up. Literally, the belly button and the shoulder line perfectly line up crest-wise. And that keeps my gesture in line. You still have to know where the back of her body is, but depending on what you can see. If the belly button and the shoulder girdle and the pit of the neck is available, then you use those front points. In the back, it would just be up at the other points. So it'd be like C7, the point that's in the back of your neck. I think the same thing applies in the back. You have Venus's triangle, which is more obvious on a body that you could look at. We'll talk about it, I guess, as we get to it. Are any of these pictures actually available? Can I show you back? I don't think. Let's see. I don't think this one has a picture of a woman facing the back, because we're looking at boobs, and boobs are not on the back, unless you got back boobs. I don't know. Let's see. No, most of these are front facing, so I can't really explain it until we get there. But anyway, I'll waffle on more about that later, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of context as to how I map in gestures. You obviously have your own process if you learn it a different way, but this is just how I learned it and how it helps me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I just go off of what I see and make a bunch of curves. But it's really easy to make curves that don't work together. If they don't line up to the midline, then there's no point. That, and also negative space. For example, the inside of the leg. When you're getting your legs in, sometimes, or the arms in, when you're getting your limbs in, it's very easy to just draw lines. But if the negative space doesn't match up, then you also have an issue. So that is another thing I look at. And then lastly, what was it? Oh, I don't remember. And the more I forget, the more this naked lady sits on my screen. What was it? Oh no, I don't remember. Okay, well, negative space, landmarks being pit of the neck, base of the rib cage, top of the rib cage where the sternum ends, belly button, and then pizzes/izzes, and the aces in the back of the pelvis and the back behind. Limbs, you kind of just gotta feel it out. But negative space. Oh, and then I don't remember anything else. There was something else, but I forgot. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. And then obviously I have Loomis's head here. A circle. I can draw it in real quick, just to give you context. Without making it a line. A circle, very loose circle, a big old sharp line, or a curved line depending on the body frame. Probably curved, looks nicer for gesture. And then a nice base of the neck there for the chin. From there, I find a circle in the middle of the head, if you've never learned Loomis's method. Make a nice cross in there. This intersection is usually right about, like hairline level. And then from there, bottom third quadrant is ear. This line is just tracing the arc of the front of the head, and that's where all of the action lives, basically your eyes, nose, and mouth, and all that stuff. This is the jawline, the xiphoid bone, the strong curve that a lot of people use in gesture, where the shadow sits, the chiseled jaw on your cheekbones. From there, middle is eyebrow. Base of this is, I always forget, I want to say bottom of the nose. And then top of the circle is hairline. And then one more for chin if you have like a really nice strong cleft chin. So all of that to say, I don't know how much this helped you out. Maybe it helped you, maybe it didn't help you at all. But you can look up Loomis's method. Proko does a much better deep dive than I will. I just wanted to give you a brief overview. There's cat hair on my screen. Cat Nico. I'm so sad that I don't remember what I was gonna say. People are excited next door. Cross contours as well is another thing, knowing the form of the body. Like, that's how you find your midline. It's not just gonna be a straight line. It should go all the way, like, even though she's lounging. Chest is upright, there's a stomach tuck right there because she's very thin. Abs are probably engaged a little bit, and then the pop up back of the hips to give you that middle curve. Oh, I forgot what it was. Oh well. It'll bother me until I remember. But anyway, I think it's boob time. So let's set up my pictures. So I am ready to do this gesture, because once I start, I cannot stop, and I just want to make sure I'm ready. We're only doing one today, and then next week will be the flipped mirrored version of said picture. Oh, I remember! Connections. I forget the official term for this, but let's call it vertical and horizontal checks for now. You've probably heard of this, but where things line up. What? Yes? Don't come in here yelling. It's so rude. Oh dear. It's so early. It's not even close to dinner time yet. You have like a whole nother hour and a half before you have the right to start wailing. He was asleep just now and then he woke up because mom came home. Great. Point is, relationships. That's a better way to put it. If I trace a line straight down from the top of the knee, where does it line up? Should be right about in the middle of her knee, which I kind of got close, basically. Something similar to if I were to draw a cross contour from the horizontal version. It should hit about her nose, which I did not get. Not quite. Her chin was a little too low here, but that's the other thing. Exaggeration is also what we want to do in gesture, because the more exaggerated the pose, the more interesting it is. So it may not line up one-to-one, but you want to get close. You know, you want it to look somewhat close to what you got. The whole point is to just get a gesture in as fast as possible, because the model can't hold that pose forever, especially if you're looking at a real human being. They're going to hold it for like 2 minutes, maybe max 5 minutes. And then if it's a very intense pose, probably like 30 seconds. You have, at the shortest, 30 seconds, at the longest 10 minutes if a model is very relaxed or they're just really good, to get your pose in. And the gesture should just tell you enough information to carry the picture on from there without looking at them. If you get your gesture in, you can add the bones and you can add the shading and the nice extra crispy details at the end after they've finished posing for you. That's the whole point. So anyway, that was a long detour, but I hope some of that was helpful, and you know, take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna bite some more salad. Thanks for indulging my rants, guys. Hopefully some of this is useful to you later. Maybe it isn't, maybe it is. Okay. Alright, so without further ado, we're now looking at this lady. Where was my first pass of this lady? Let's see, let's find her. That's a really nice gesture. There she is! I gave her like angel hair. Let's just go through the rest of these real quick. Another very good gesture, but the shading is really weak. Want to improve my shading for this round. Good gesture, no shading though. Felt really good about these gestures this round, but again, I took probably way longer than I needed to for these. Proko gives you the homework assignments to finish in a week, and again, if you have nothing else but time on your hands, you're not in school, you're not working, that's an awesome goal to shoot for, but I think I took like a month each, because I took them way longer than I needed to, and I just didn't have a lot of time. So this is the assignment, is to get the same gesture in, but faster. For me, you do not have to do that. Again, I'm challenging myself. If this is your first round, take it slow, bro. Okay, let's get this lady off my screen. I censored them for a reason, and you don't need to see that anymore. So let's make a new folder. We'll call this, yeah, I gave her even more shading. Wow. Wow. Nice. As much as I like this shading, it's too much. There's not a very clear shadow line. It's very vague. We're going to try to improve that as we go this round. Because I never really learned how to shade. Never, not really. Let's call this old. Make a new folder. Call it PR for Proko Revisited. Make a new layer. Save this goodness. Woo! And make sure the right picture is on my screen, because unfortunately you don't get access to boobs. You have to go download them. I get access though. So I have more information. Even though I have most of the picture here, that block is going to disappear and it's going to be a lot easier to see where things sit. But it's just to be on screen for you so you can see it, even though it's very small. Here, I'll even make it a little bigger for you. I'll move it to like right around this corner. There you go. Alrighty. One more time. Where is she? Honey! She or they. There we go. Looking at a picture on my screen now. Okay. Animal Crossing. Thank you for chill vibes. Okay. Another reason I wanted to do this gesture while we're waiting for influence, you guys decide, but if you don't decide in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to do this one, is most of the time when you're drawing boobage, wait, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Control, there it is. I didn't mean to, oh, I can do that to multiple apps? I did not know I could do that. Sorry, sound effects incoming. Stop. Unhide that. Thank you. Alrighty. I'm gonna move me over here. Okay. Got it. Alright. Sorry! Lots of moving parts. Because once I start, I cannot stop. I just want to be ready. Alrighty. So that's right. The other reason I wanted to be able to do this picture is a lot of times when you're looking at pictures, or at least when you're drawing women, they're most likely going to be dangling like normal. You're going to have gravity boobs. They're going to be sitting, and that inframammary fold that Proko mentioned, I call that the underboob. It's basically the same thing. It's where your the breast tissue connects to the rib cage, and that natural fold that happens there. The pictures, most likely you're gonna draw your standard women standing upright because that's what we do. But something like this where they're leaning on something, or they're stretching their arms, or they are laying down for whatever reason, the boobs are not naturally drooping down. This reveals underneath that, and we can see a lot more of the rib cage and that inframammary fold stretching the pec muscle and the breast tissue. So it just gives us more information to play with, as well as a challenge for the not natural boob position. So we're only doing 2 gestures for women, but again, strongly recommend you do the homework yourself and do all 10 pictures. Do the homework outside of class, so when you come in every Sunday, you can ask me questions and I can offer critiques or feedback, or you can critique me, because I'm not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes. I am a student just like you. So anyway, all that to say, if you are ready, we're gonna start momentarily. Let me just check if I want my music to continue going the way it is. Sure. I'm gonna hide whatever I don't need that's distracting. Okay. And hopefully this will become part of the series. I'm recording myself because I want to be able to use this footage later. Let me make sure my brush is ready. Let's set it to blue. Nice soft blue. Get me out of that. Yeah. Sharp is off. Let's set that to like here. There we go. Okay. Get all the cat hair off my hands and my mouse and my pen. Because cats were sitting in my lap earlier and it's distracting me, all the flyaways I'm finding. Okay. Uncross my legs, sit up tall, take a deep breathe. And let's begin. We are going to start gesture. I'm going to go back like 10 seconds because it's going to tick down. You'll hear it. It'll tell you when to start. Okay. Gesture of woman laying down in 3, 2, 1. Timer will start momentarily. I'm going to take a bite of salad real quick. Go! Okay, this is gonna be for now. She's also twisting a little bit. So let's find the base of the rib cage. And I might do a couple of passes because for now, first gesture is gonna set everything. If we don't find it the first time, we're screwed. Hip bone. Doing that trick I just showed you, I'm gonna just pick a place for now. I might even angle that even more. There we go. Okay. Rib cage. It's going to be pressing this way, but the rest of the torso is going that way. For now, here's where her leg is. Let's just make sure we have room for that. Torso-wise, the length of her sternum down to her stomach is around the same width of that to her jaw. So I'm just going to double that length to find the start of the neck. From there, pit of the neck. Add curves in there to keep it more gesture and grounded. Smoother curves make a nicer gesture overall. For that, now let's find the shoulders. I'm already realizing I'm out of space. I'm gonna go from, let's see, belly button, where is it? Here's her rib cage. Find the belly button right around there. From there, let's find her shoulders way out here. That tells me so much more. We can even angle those shoulders a little more. Yeah, cool. You can start to see her coming in now. From there, oh my gosh, we already have 2 minutes gone. Jesus. Now, from here, I start finding the bones. So here's rib cage. I see curve, long, straight, and that curve is going to stretch all the way from basically the end of her abs to arm. Here's probably where her arm starts. Pec. We need some room for everything else. It's the power of cheating. Gonna start moving a little faster. Might shrink things a little bit because it might make it a little bit easier for us to see. I start drawing longer than necessary usually. That's just the stuff I've noticed. Let's start by getting a leg in. The leg should be at the same height as her elbow. So here's where her arm probably starts. If I'm gonna guess, right around here is, let's see, belly button extends from there to find a bit of rib cage. Now I can start piecing in my center line. Here it is. And see, from there we twist out. Neckline continues naturally from there. From there, let's see. There's a lot that I'm not sure I'm going to get down. This is a hard challenge for me for sure. Just start placing things and you can adjust later. One cylinder for an arm for now. My God, 1 minute, no way. Where do the elbows connect? There. And then let's find her head. Oh my God, there's no way I'm gonna have time for all of this. Where is your neck? Pit of the neck, right here. And I have it starting right here, there we go. Okay. Maybe a little bit of curve for that trapezius. Get her head in there, Kiana. Find her head. Where's her head? Find a head in at least 30 seconds. Oh my God, no way, there's no time for this, bruh. Jawline. Whew. It's not that long, but it starts straight and then curves that way. Oh, 20 seconds, this is terrifying. We'll assess as we go. I'm not gonna worry about the rest of that for now. Head and neck will come later. 5 seconds. I'm thinking of a white Christmas time. Definitely messy, not at all clean, really, really, really rushed. Really rough start. But that's the whole point, is just get the idea down. So now we have a little time to assess. You can keep working or you can step back and take a break. I'm gonna keep going because I barely found her. Not really. Good practice for me too. Okay. Jaw. Find the level. Where's her head? Tracing a headline from her eyebrows to her ear. There's an ear. Okay. But her head placement doesn't even matter until we get everything else. If it doesn't work, it's not going to matter. Let's find her arms real quick. I think her knee might be a little too high. Well, no, I think that's fine. Let's find her the rest of her. Let's see. Belly button. Width is always something I struggle with. Let's see. From there, about the same equidistant width-wise. So where the bottom of her is like right here. The thinnest part of her is about there. Always forget the width. Trace a nice box from the pelvis. Get a box in there for her torso. And now I'm starting to see my errors. There's a lot that I missed. That's where she is, not up here. That's probably serratus. We can start to clean that up. Okay, so now the second pass, which we're probably going to definitely keep going with, is going to be cleaning up this gesture and finding bony landmarks underneath, which is now what I'm working on. So let's see. Midline, that's still fine. We can worry about contour later. Right now, you got to build out the outside from the inside out. If you can't see it from the inside, it doesn't matter how detailed it is. Okay. This line still works, but then there's a lot up here. Boo! I found you. Beautiful. That's really stretched. Nice and long line there. From there, it's pressing in because she's twisting. Top of the other one, let's see, find the nip. There it is. Trace a nice curve to get to the other one. And it probably lines up perfectly next to that shoulder line, just about. That's where her pecs sit, about there. So these lines do come into play later. And shadow also helps me too, sometimes. So let's see. Other boob is probably somewhere around hizity. Meow. They're not touching, but they are stretched very tightly because her arm is above her head. From there, I'm gonna find her pec. Let's see. That looks better. This is very messy until you start to find everything. I'll worry about everything else later. For now, let's get the rest of the legs in. Torso is the most important part, though. That's what we need. And then we can find rib cage and stuff. Booty! Glute! Let's see. From there. Negative space. Looking at this picture, there's a very small little triangle that sits in there. It's very easy to get wild with the curves, and as long as it makes sense with a negative space, you can keep it. But if it doesn't, get rid of it. Alright. Already feeling better about this gesture. It's not gonna ever be perfect, but can I read what I have? That's the whole point. Arms. Where are they? She has arms. Excuse me. She has arms. Where are they? They already feel way too long. Her jaw, tracing a line up here, right in the middle of the bicep. Elbow is at about nose height. So that also tells me where her nose is. Schnoz should line up somewhat. Okay. Arm number 2. I'm going to find the outside curve and the inside curve to tell me where everything else is. Her neck already feels way too long. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. I'd rather clean up the gesture than put bony landmarks on a faulty gesture. There we go. Moving quickly is the goal here. Perfection does not exist unless you have something to start with. There's some space in between her shoulder. There's a nice little skin fold there. And that tells me some information about where we're trying to end elbow. Okay, from there, second arm. Hand is not important right now. Just know that there is one there. Okay, first arm is way too thick, I'm already realizing. It comes a little higher than that boob right there. Relationships all day. Curves will look better on her. Okay. Now, other arm. Arms are above her head, so biceps are going to be flexed a bit. This comes a little higher. Okay. Yeah. Where's her delt? About ear. Ear. Right there. There's a lot of space between this arm, and I already feel like I put way less space on this side of her head. It's even about the same distance as her jaw from here to here. Oh my god, a human joined the chat, but I cannot see them. Wonderful. Hello there, Gerudo Valley. Yeah. I'm on a very strict timer. But welcome, welcome, welcome. My favorite animator of the day. How you doing? Where the heck is your arm, honey? Okay, straights for now. We can add curves later. Yes, there it is. Okay. Boom! Beautiful. I found that armpit. That's what I needed. Now we find bicep. Now we can, yes. And a beautiful bicep it is. It is extended and straight and curvy. And it's nice and, oh, I love it when I see a nice muscle belly next to a strong straight tendon. Oh, it feels good. Okay. By the end of this, we need to find a rib cage. So no matter how much fun I'm having, we gotta have a rib cage in there somewhere. She's way over here. We need to give these arms some room. They're expanding very quickly. Elbow, where does it sit? It sits right around where her ear sits. Her ear is a little bit below that, but it's about there. So something is too far. Something is too long. Probably this. Let's get this back in space. I can't see what you said right now, friend, but I'll look in about 3 minutes. I hope you're having a wonderful day, though. Okay. Second part of her arm. Where is it? It's a nice, beautiful curve right there. And yeah. Let's see. This might curve even more. There we go. The arm is nice and thick and round at the top and then gets very boxy near the wrist. Probably a little bit more wrist there. Yeah, alrighty. And the orientation of that elbow. I want to know where it is. Where is your other wrist, honey? Something like this. Yeah. Okay. Does that work? Let's zoom out. I don't know. Where's your foot? We need to find a foot. Foot's important. Bone and skin. Flesh can only feel squishy if we got bones on it to complement the squish. There's a cat here. You can't look at them right now. Hi, Mama. Okay. I can't really see the other foot that well, but we should also put our bottom plane in somewhere. Oh, this is messy, messy, messy. Yuck! Working fast sucks. But it's good practice. Alright. I need my bottom plane. Where are we on this box? Where is she sitting? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna guess yeah. And right above her ear. Yeah. There we are. Okay. Box established. Great. Lock it. Can't touch it now. I might erase some of the parts that we don't really need to see. Cool. Now, 1 minute to find a rib cage. Holy crap. Where is it? Give me a gray. Oh, earthbound, yes. But ooh, 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 ooh. 1 minute. Ooh. This guy. Okay. Start with egg? No, I don't want to start with egg. I want to start with pit of that rib. Right here. Yeah. We might take some more time in the muscle section to define this rib cage a bit more. Because I want to know all of the nitty-gritty details, but we can only do that once we find everything. And now I think I have some more ideas of where she lives in this picture. Okay, there it is. Draw a nice perspective line to make sure the base of the rib cage sits in the right place. Boom. Alright, where's the top of the rib cage? I'm gonna just connect the dots. Yeah. Pit of the neck. Right there. Orientation wise should be around the same direction as this one, going into space. Oh my god, that nice Chrono Trigger vibe. Oh, that's so satisfying. I love it. Okay, from there, there's people popping off. I can't see them right now, but I hope you're having a swell day so far. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 10 seconds! Ah! Yikers! Rib cage, where's the circle of the neck? There it is. Say that I'm out. Woo! Alright. First of all, Jammer, how you doing? Welcome! Yeah, no, it's okay. That's fair. You don't have to understand women and boobs to draw them. Anatomy is tricky. Yeah. It's good to see you though, brother. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. And you can do as much detailing as you want on a creature of any kind, but if you're drawing a human, because we are humans, we have that impression of, oh, this looks wrong, this looks bad. I'm gonna judge it way harder. So it's very easy to look at a picture of a, I don't know, like a fake creature and let it slide, but a creature that really exists in this world, you're gonna be like, no, I don't know if that's right. So we want to get humans as close as accurate as possible. Yeah, let's put the rib cage in. I want to find it. Yeah. And there it is. Okay. I needed to see where my rib cage sits in space. Because now I feel like I can actually put something on top of it. And yeah, no worries. Guys and ladies and girls and gents are all welcome here. But if you like, because I will also admit, I think I've noticed over time that I just tend to draw more women. Because curves are more fun. But I can't lie. I love my ubu twink boys. So, I don't know, whatever that means for you. You have your preference of what you draw. Chris definitely has come out way more feminine because of my desire to draw curves. But that's never intentional. They are they first. Okay. So now this would be the time to identify muscles and the thing that we're actually studying, which is boobs! But because I got a little bit of a late start and I want to clean that up a little bit, I'm going to go in and make sure this rib cage is actually a rib cage. So let's go in and really identify where it is, because I can't put any flesh on top of it until I know where it sits. Let's see. That feels better. This neck hole needs to have some room for a spine behind it. Yeah. And where is your spine, by the way, darling? I don't think I found it. Let's find it. Spine. Let's just draw a nice line for now. Even if we can't see it, still want to know where it sits, because it's going to connect to the ribs and the pelvis, and that is exactly what we need to know the location of. Pelvis, rough in. Boom! Box, right about meow. Base of the butt, right about meow. We can worry about all that fancy stuff later, but for now I just need to know where it sits. Women have a wider pelvis, so extend that reach a little bit. And now we can kind of start to see contour a little more, because it only makes sense to add that in once we find the inside. Build it out from the inside out. I love that movie. Okay. For now, I'm just going to draw a box for the pelvis. Nothing fancy. I don't feel like drawing buckets and stuff. Okay. Now let's see. What else do we need in here? Clavicle. We need a clavicle. We need a clavicle. Where is your clavicle, darling? Nice, beautiful clavicle right there. Trace that line all the way through. Be very deliberate about where I put it. And the cutoff is right around in the center, about here. Once I finish this gesture, we can sit and talk for a second. I just want to get as much as I can in. Oh my gosh, is that Celeste that I hear? Absolutely, yes. Okay, most of this is going to be hidden away, but still there. And then this side is going to be a lot more pronounced. Bing. Okay, clavicle. Second clavicle is around his-ity. Let's say around there. And a nice shoulder girdle would probably come in around there. Clavicle meets square box. Square box is start of the scapula. Boom, baby. Okay. Now, I'm gonna just guess there's a cavity right around here. Something like that for a shoulder. And then a loose line for my scapula. Her scapula would be extended away from the ribcage because she's reaching up. So, something like that. This is already way behind. We should have been done with this already, but let's move on. All right, bones are mostly in there. Muscle! Let's put some boobs on this lady. I can spell. Okay, cool. Let's use red. I'm gonna put you on multiply, and I'm gonna lessen everything. This is my gesture. And everything else. Box, base, plane. Plane? Everything is too bright. Way less. Lock. Okay, boob. Here's what we're here to look at. Let's get our boobage in here. Well, right off the bat, very obviously, right here, shadow line. I'm gonna rely on that to tell me everything. Nice long shadow line right there. We kind of already found it, but it just is nice and helpful once you have everything locked in so you can see exactly where things connect. And it's important to remember, women have boobs and they have all this junk covering the pecs, but the pecs are still there. Do not forget that. The star of the show sure sits right on top in a squishy, pillowy form, but they are still covered by, they're still covering muscle that you need to know the origin and insertion points of. So let's see, contour-wise, I want to make a nice reaching line there. That feels good. Knit placement still fine. Lightly dot that areola in. Lightly. There we go. Okay, now, pec placement. Oh god, my brush grew exponentially. They connect from the sternum. We went and found the sternum. Where is it? Let's zoom in a little bit. It's right there. I found it. So let's see. It would come out from underneath this spot, right around there. And then it would come up and connect up to the clavicle. Where is it? All of this is pec. All of this is pec. It just fades much softer on women. Coming in to join the story that is the deltoid. Deltoid looks like one muscle, it is not. This is all two muscles. Bicep cuts off around here. Beautiful deltoid. Let's see, her ear is right here. Right there, yeah. Nice long lines for now that we will soften later. That's what I wanted. Cool. This is all deltoid. That kind of fades into pec. Pec starts here, goes underneath the curve, and would find humerus. Humerus, where are you? Right around there. It's gonna start from up here in that little pocket and then find its way to your elbow right around there. orientation of my humerus is where the deltoid sits. So it's up here. Let's see. Yeah. We're not worrying so much about the base of the elbow here, but it's nice to know where it cuts off. Same thing for up here. Where is it? Okay. And then it ends right there. Wow, I just realized how long this arm is. Holy cow, Batman. No, I don't think that's right. That's a long arm. Let's go in and adjust that real quick. That's long, 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 long. It's long, long ranch. I'm going to, let's see. Moving quickly, moving quickly, moving quickly. If I want to have this hand, yeah, there's a beautiful thumb there. All of this is nice, but we don't really need it. I just want to know where the end of her fingertips are. About here. There it is. So all of this shrinkage. You come with me. All right, that's already much better. Much better. And there's a lot less space in there for her. The negative space between her face and her arm. Cool. Make me feel way better. We're not gonna finish this in one pass, are we? Goals, I'm trying, guys. Alright, from there. Peck! Comes in. There's a lot of lat that's also hiding some of this. Let's see. This is deltoid? Where does deltoid become pec? Around here. There's a deltoid. Yeah. Deltoid starts from the clavicle. Pec comes from the front of the clavicle. The end of the clavicle is the deltoid, the front of the clavicle is the pec. From there, then there's all this junk that I don't remember the name of. We're not here to look at that right now. We're here to get boob in. So, I think I got it. Let's add a little bit of shadow. We have only about a minute left. Oh. What else? What else? What else? What else do we need to do? Oh no. I'm so sad. Contour, I guess. Let's just add a little contour. Let's clean up as much as we can. We're not gonna finish, but I feel good about what we got. Very lean machine this lady is. She's beautiful, but very unrealistic. Most humans have some more meat on them, so there would be some more muscle and fat connection. Then, let's see. 30 seconds to find a leg. No way. Beautiful leg fold. Oh, 10 seconds. That's not even close to enough time. Well, she has a head, but you don't know where it is. I did my best to find it, though. Alright. Well, for the first pass of this, that's not bad. My word, that's messy. But isn't that the point? We're just here to learn and study, and if it's perfect, then we're not learning, because we're already masters. No one is. Oh my. Okay. So technically that would be the end of one session. But I want to clean this up a little more because I can't see anything. It's really hard to see any of this. So let's see. What do we need and what do we need to clean up? I guess just let's go back in and find a contour, because that'll tell me all of the things. First of all, do things line up? Let's look. Armpit, yes, but nose, no. So her neck is too long, I realized already, but I think it was just too fast to reach in there. But we also added some gesture, so I'm not too married if things are not perfectly one-to-one lined up. What else? Did we get the gesture? I feel like we did. It's hard to see most of it, but we got a lot of curves. Also, the table is way too short. She is much longer than that. Table actually comes up here and ends at her foot, which doesn't even exist yet. And the foot is just dangling off of nothing. But granted, she's not actually putting her foot on anything, it's floating. There should be a foot right about here, so what we can do is go back into this box and clean that up a hair. We move faster. We're not here to make glamorous photos. We're not here to do the thing that I do in Crystal K's channel, which is take 10 years on a picture. We're here to go fast. Like Sonic, gotta go fast. Alright. Because this is how I learn. I learn as quickly as I can so we can get to the fun stuff as quick as we can. Alright. There we go. So now, her foot should land right around, yeah. Let's see. Boop! Oh wait, I locked it. Where is it? Boop! There's her foot. Foot. Bam. Nice, beautiful toe. There would probably be an ankle and a heel there, but we don't need to worry about that too much here. Boom. There we go. I don't want to do too much. We're going to save that for another round. Maybe like an extra, 10 minutes just to clean up something here and there. But zooming out, I feel pretty decent about most of this. Her bottom leg does not work because perspective-wise, it's going away from us. So this cheekage should be where heel is. So let's fix that. Right around here. And by now the model has moved on. She's getting paid elsewhere. We're just editing. She's already stood up and is stretching and doing lots of things. She's getting coffee and tea. Alright. Now let's take a step back. I feel a little better about that. For the most part, things pretty much line up. What is missing? Connection-wise. Another thing I just noticed, this foot is perfectly pointing to this heel, right in that internal crevice. This is all beautiful long muscle, and then we get calf. But again, that's not really important. What else do we need before I go back in and assess? I think that's it. We got a thumb in there. Okay, so let's just do one more rough pass. Oh, I'm gonna give myself 10 more minutes to clean up a little bit more, and then we'll call it. I'm gonna take one more bite. Let's see. Lock you down. Boom. Lock you down. Boom. Knock you down. Great song. Lower this opacity because it's really distracting me. We don't need to see much. But it is helpful to have the bones in there because it just makes easier placement-wise where things go. And she feels more like a three-dimensional human because we have actual understanding of what's going on underneath her. We can draw contour all day, but if it doesn't feel real, because we can't see the bones and the stuff in the picture, then what's the point? Okay. Contour. Let's go back in for one more pass. I want to stand up. Ooh, stretchy my leggies. The children are kissing in bed? Stop it. One more bite of salad. I'm gonna look away from my screen for 20 seconds, and then we'll come back in. BRB. Alright, good song. Whoop. I'm back. Wow. Alrighty. So, let's go in. 10 more minutes. Let's do one more adjustment. We'll give ourselves like 30 seconds to warm up and get back in. And then, we'll call it. And the nice thing is, the advantage of those that stay till the end, you'll get to see this sped up time lapse of the whole recording. And I was possibly thinking of showing you what the cage looks like at the moment. It's very close to being done. I actually finally think we might be done with it this week. Oh, it's so exciting. As in the main picture that I've been working on my sister channel, the Crystal K channel, is where all of my fan art for DeviantArt, not DeviantArt, Deltarune lives, if you care at all about that. But I don't want to show anything until the speed paint comes out, so I'm sorry I won't get to show you. But I can at least say we are 91% done. Speed paint coming soon. Yay! Oh my god, it's only been since, what? November? I've been working on this for like 3 months. We're real close. We're real close. And that is a picture that I haven't rushed and taken a long time to finish and working on. I feel really, really good about it. If you care at all about digital art, even if it's not Deltarune related, I do some tutorials over there. Planning to do more. But the latest picture I'm working on, I feel very good about so far. And I'll just leave you in lurch with that. Alrighty. So one more bite, and then we're gonna jump back in for one more 10-minute session to clean this up, and then we'll call it. Alright. 10 more minutes. Ready, chat? Feel free to do this with me, or move along with your day. Whatever your Sunday looks like, feel free to continue having it. 20 seconds to shake out your shoulders, shake out your hands. Take a deep breath. Maximize your time with smart decisions, not superfluous, extraneous decisions. Be ready. When the timer goes, we go. 2, 1. Alright. How can we read this as clearly as possible? Number 1. I want some hard, sharp lines in here. There's a long, beautiful curve from her ribs, and then lat takes over, and then that becomes part of the elbow. This is not elbow. That's lat. I still can't wait to get to the armpit. Holy cow, I have no idea what's going on in here. I do and I don't. Like, I know what it is, but I just still have no idea how to draw it. Tricep. There's a couple bumps in there. I won't worry about that too much. Nice, beautiful curve right next to a strong sharp. That's elbow. We can leave her hands mostly undetailed for now. I want to just get the big stuff in there. Okay, strong tendon up against beautiful soft bicep belly. Muscle belly right there. And then that turns into forearm, which I exaggerated a little more than necessary in this picture, but that's not really important. We're going for taste now. Okay. Want that taper in there. If I can just... There we go. Alright. From there, her arm would be more relaxed here, but might still see some deltoid popping out, because the deltoid wraps around the whole arm. Now, let's see, the main coup de grace, the boobage. I want to just accentuate that, because that's the focus of this picture. It's the focus of this whole study. Stretches across the ribs like that. Maybe loosen up a little bit on this line. Rude, dude. Can you be quiet, please? Gosh. I'm gonna put this on multiply as well. Alright. From there, where is the area that we have the least amount of information? Her head. Let's clean that up a little bit. As I move further away from her head. You can tell the areas I'm more comfortable with, I do more detail on. Let's get in a head, and then we can add everything else in later. She is twisting her neck, so there's a little bit of that. I always forget the name of the muscle that pops out of your neck. I can't remember right now. It drives me nuts. I always forget it. It's a fancy name. Something ridiculous. But there's a muscle that only happens when you turn your neck. I'm not going to worry about all of the stuff on her face. I just want to find her actual face. Chin is right there. Oh, this is fine. Let's see. We use this to find her eyebrow. From there, there's a beautiful eye there. And then that's actually a little too far out. Eye would be right there. Right there, right there. Some of that becomes nose. Soften it because I don't want to take up too much time on her face. Let's see. There we go. Jawline right there. Beautiful cheekage. From there, continue that down to find her eyes and her lips. I'm gonna skip to the next song because it gets creepy here. Creepy sound. Bottom lip pops out a little more. And then there's room for jaw somewhere in there. I don't know if that's right. I missed a lot. Actually, there's way like more I could get in there. Let me establish a spot for her jaw. Alright. Forehead! And there's the creepy part. I can't skip right now. Beautiful bunch of hair. Okay. All of this. She's got Pocahontas hair. From now, let's move on. Hair. It's right there, right there. Okay. Now, shoulder. I want to spend maybe like 8 to 9 minutes on finding her contour, and then we can go in and add some actual shading and stuff. Okay, let's see. Bicep is actually, it's activated because she's raising her arm. The coup de grace, I believe that is armpit coming up. Soft tricep because it's not activated right now. A tricep only works, turns on when your arm is straight. Elbow, Idris Elba. Love him as Knuckles. Great. This is fine. This is good. Let's move into the areas that are a little bit less defined. Like her legs. Okay. Butt is right around here. Soften that against that block because it's cushioned against it. Nice strong flat line. Hopefully she's not flatlining. Then we have from there, nice soft curve for the bottom of the hamstring. All of this is extra stuff. Don't really need to know too much about this. We're just finding everything in there. Okay, knee. Turn this off. There we go. There's her knee. All of this could be defined, and I could find all of this stuff like her calf and where it sits exactly, and that's extra work, but she is extending, she is pointing her toes, so it's a little bit sharper here. The calf, despite it looking like one muscle, is actually split into two, so let's give that some attention too. From there, soften. This is also some of that extensor muscle right there. Nice sharp curve right there. Line right there from Achilles to heel. We're looking at like her heel coming towards us, and then it goes away. So it's going away from us. A lot of this is extra. We don't really need it, but still want to find it. Still suck at feet. Never been good at feet. We're not going to worry about feet. I don't need to worry about feet. I just need to know where it stops. Okay, from there. Other leg. Some TFL. Tensor fascia lata right there. That extra muscle that pops out from stuff in the front of the knee. The hip, I mean. Ooh, there's a beautiful, beautiful collection of tension right there where skin is bending and pushing out some of that calf. That's gorgeous. Let's get that in. Yes. Okay. Now, with about 1 minute left, let's add some shadow. Just a little bit. Core shadow that gives us more information about where everything is. Quads and stuff. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Shadow the Hedgehog. Give me this brush. Lock this down. Now I can't touch it. Great. Turn this off. Well, actually, no, this is fine. Let's get a nice soft core shadow right here. Oh my gosh, I know, 1 minute. That's terrifying when I hear that sound. Oh, I hate it. Follow that oblique line down to the back. There's a little bit of shadow right here where oblique sits and connects and becomes serratus. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I can find that strong core shadow. This is a strong, let's see, how would I do this? That's a cast shadow that I will definitely want in there. Cast shadows are nice against soft core shadows. 20 seconds, what else, what else? Arm. Define the boob. How did I forget that? The only thing that we're here to look at. There we go. Pec. Bottom of the arm. Bam. Oh, hands up. Alright. I feel better about this version. I don't like her face. It was very rushed. But considering what we started with, we had nothing. And I feel good that we built at least a gesture from there. So, if I erase her face, I like it. Yeah. Perfect. Great. Save. Alright. You know what, y'all? I think we're going to call it here. That's all for now. But I'm going to save this recording, and I want to show you what we did. So here we go. Here is the full time lapse of this entire lady from start to finish, from a blank page. Boob, baby. This is my favorite part. It's so satisfying to watch it come in. So we built the gesture, started with nothing, found our angles, found our pit of the neck, our base of the rib cage, the sternum, and our torso, the piz's points, where that, I can't say genitalia, but yeah, the thing that connects your hips and the bottom of your hips. Then we started to build up that twist, and that kind of fits. Finding some rib cage, clavicle, booba, nice, connection of pec and delt, and then finally filling it out with some shadow. That last minute did a lot. Yeah, that feels good. That's a nice, strong, clean torso. Alright, so now let's do a comparison and contrast. What did we start with and what did we end up with? Here was the old, which is definitely cleaner because I took longer on it, but considering that I timed myself, this is the new. It's pretty close, right? Like if I move this, oh, I locked everything, right. I just want to see, experiment. If I move all of these layers, we almost line up. I think I added more gesture on the first one. The first one has a stronger curve to it. But considering where we started and where we ended up with a timer, I feel really good about that. So anyway, chat, I'm gonna probably log off for now, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me, as always, my friends. If this is your first time at the Crystal Library, we do a lot more than anatomy here, but for the moment, we're going to take probably the remainder of this year to finish humans and then get a firmer understanding of the body. So, as always, my friends, keep playing, keep loving, and keep dreaming. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to go feed my cats and work on Deltarune fan art. Ciao.